Welcome to the Camino Cafe, everyone. So happy to have you here today. And I'm so excited to have Guillermo with me to talk about his Caminos. And this is our first in a series of Take Five or Tomo Cinco. And so we just want to start off and just find out what Caminos have you been on and what years?
So I start my Camino since 2016, and the first 3 years, at least from that year, I walk at least one Camino a year. From the first 3 years, I walked 3 times the Camino Portuguese. Then in 2019, I walked the Camino Primitivo, the ancient one. And last year, I was one of the fortunate to walk the Camino in the middle of the pandemic virus. I walked the Winter Camino, Camino de Invierno. It's a less known Camino, but it was really a nice experience.
I'm so happy you got to do that. So we are talking today to a real Camino veteran. So we're so excited to hear about your experiences. So I'm going to start off with a question asking you, when you look back on the people that you met along the way, overall, who would you say most embodied the Camino spirit? Can you think of a pilgrim that when you think back of them, that you're like, wow, they just really embody everything that I think about when it comes to the Camino?
I will say Rafael, a pilgrim that I met on the Primitivo, um, and another one that it's called let me see, Carlos Carlos Fritas. He's a Portuguese guy,
Okay.
and really special. That embodied a lot of the Camino, the pilgrim.
What was it about Raphael? Like you can think of one characteristic that really stands out to you about him?
uh, Peace, peace. It's a guy that transmits you peace. He has the right words on the right moments.
I love that. Okay, great. All right, so a lot of times when people are thinking of their Caminos, we hear a lot about blisters and it's a lot about the physical part. But can you think of a time for yourself where you feel like there was more of an inner struggle and how you overcame that inner struggle that you experienced?
Exactly what I was talking about. I was getting in some trouble on the primitive Camino on the first days because something that happened. It was really bad for me, and not on a physical way, but I was thinking of dropping out because of that moment, that
Mm,
really bad moment. And this guy Rafael, he told me the right words that I needed to hear at that moment to change my Camino, to really embody the Camino, and to embrace what was the feeling of that Camino in particularly. So that I guess will be the moment. There was a different moment on the first Portuguese Camino walking. That is too, but in that moment I was struggling physically, but mentally that was the right moment.
mhm. So what made you think about going on your very first Camino? What inspired you?
So I was working in Barcelos. Barcelos is a really known town about the Portuguese Camino, on the Portuguese Camino, the central way. And I was working there. I was a sales guy. I was driving around every place on Barcelos. And in that moment, my work wasn't really well. It was going really bad. So I decided, and even I was a different person that moment. I was like really mind closed, let me say like that. And the
Okay.
Camino, doing the Camino for the first time, it was something not to change my life, but to really open my mind to other things in life. And it really changed my life.
What would you say has been the biggest change? What's been the transformation or the one that you first noticed after your first Camino?
Autoconfidence, definitely. Autoconfidence. That is the to believe that I can do, that I can fight for my dreams. That even if if it goesn't well for the first time, to keep trying, to not give up. That feeling of you are able to,
Mm.
doesn't don't give up. You can struggle, but you will manage to do, and that's why I'm here now.
Oh, that's beautiful. Can you think of a time now after your Camino where you've had to think about that and use it in your life away from the Camino?
Yes, on my work. There were I work now in a factory, but isn't my dream. I work just to earn money, to fight for my dream. My dream in this moment, I'm fighting for it. Is to I'm really big fan of history. I want to be a teacher,
Oh,
and teacher of history itself. So with the Camino too, I learned what I wanted to do. What is my dream? And my dream at this moment, what I'm fighting for, is to go to university in Santiago and study history. That's my dream. So in the factory, I was struggling a little bit with some things that wasn't going well for me, and the Camino helped me to be more calm, more relaxed, not to take everything as a bad thing, not to uh, make movies on my mind. Do you understand more or less?
yes.
And the Camino helped me a lot with that, of being more earth earth minded, being more grounded on earth, not to think about everything, not to think that everything will be bad.
Oh, that's beautiful. So it gave you the confidence, and now you know that you're strong enough to pursue your dream, and that you don't have
Definitely,
to get caught up
definitely,
in the bad stories. That's
it is. That's the Camino. That's my Camino.
yeah. So what inspired you to go multiple times? So you had
uh,
the first one, you saw transformation. What made you set off again?
one of the things that helped me to embrace the Camino more times, it was the first time. The first time was on bike from my hometown Braga here in Portugal, and to Santiago. It was on late October in 2016, and I was bicycle going to Santiago and then back. And it was one of my first times outside of my comfort, outside of my home. uh, I was out of my comfort zone. So being an outsider in a Spanish town where I didn't know anything was a little bit hard. And in the first time on my first Camino, I went to pick up the Compostela, yeah, but I didn't go into the cathedral. I didn't take Santiago
Uh-huh.
because I didn't know where to left my backpack, where to left my bike. So and this happens, and a few months later, my life changed, not just uh, on work level, but on love level too. Um, and that's why I came to know that was the Camino that gave me that confidence to fight for what I need, what I want. Sorry. So uh, that's why I understand that the Camino gave me that. So after that, I am a religion. I am Christian.
Mhm.
Uh, a little bit practicant. I would like to do more, but my practice is not so good. But I have my own faith, my way to see my faith. So I'm really that moment I saw that was Saint James Santiago that. That was there for helping me to give me that confidence.
Yes.
So after that, that's why I do at least one Camino a year. I have like this promise to him to walk at least one Camino a year. That's why I love. That's why I do the Camino every year, and if I was able, I do it more times a year. But at the moment, I just can to do at least one Camino a year.
Oh, it's a wonderful commitment, very brave, and um, just an amazing thing to take upon yourself. It's not easy going on one, right? And so
No, no.
it really shows a lot of strength and how much dedication that you have to the Camino and what it's done for you for your life. One last question for you. Are there any rituals that you stick to or any routines that you would recommend to people that are getting ready to take their first Camino? Things that helped you with your walk?
My suggestion, it doesn't the don't overlook what is the Camino. Okay, prepare it physically, okay, but left space for to be surprised, left space to be surprised what the Camino can give you, can provide to you.
Mm.
So doesn't go like stick out to your plan. Left your mind open to everything the Camino can give to you, and will be special. Believe me.
Oh, that's a wonderful way to end this. Thank you so much. And I just want to make sure everyone knows that if they visit your YouTube channel, it's Pasos del Camino.
Pasos del Camino, yeah. Pasos del Camino. Yeah.
So you can see him doing interviews with pilgrims from all over the world, and they're wonderful. I watched several of them the other night, and I highly recommend watching them and hearing other stories. And thank you so much. I'm so glad to call you a fellow pilgrim, and I hope to get to meet you when I'm in Portugal, or maybe you'll be out here in Seattle before then. So
The pleasure, it's all mine.
thank you so much. Buen camino.
Buen camino.